Only 16 teams can move forward. Who will be team number 15? Find out next on Quiz Kids.
It's the Bay Area Quiz Kids. Brought to you by the San Mateo Credit Union. And now, the best host on the West Coast, Brad Friedman.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Quiz Kids. We welcome back two teams. Let's introduce them now. Over here, we have the Carlmont Scots. And returning to us are the Mountain View Spartans. Let's get right into it, gentlemen, with our first three for all. I will ask you a toss-up question. If you get it correct, your team will score 5 points. Give me the answer to a second question, you'll get 10. If you answer all three questions in that round, you'll earn 25 points. Good luck to both teams. Here's our first toss-up. The particles denoted by E plus and P bar will annihilate a standard electron or proton should they meet. What general name describes particles? Yes, Sanjay.
Antiparticles?
Right. E plus, the anti-electron, is usually known by this 8-letter name.
Positron?
Correct. And antimatter was first theoretically predicted by this man's equation, a relativistic counterpart of the Schrödinger equation.
Einstein?
No, it's Paul Dirac. Her daughter-in-law, Princess Diana, died in a Paris car crash. Kyle.
Queen Elizabeth,
I need more.
the second.
What do I do? I'm sorry, I can't accept that. I'm going to turn to you to Steele.
Which one? Queen Elizabeth II?
Yes. Elizabeth's father, he led Britain through World War II and struggled with a stutter.
James VI?
George VI. This band features Stacey Ann Ferguson, better known as Fergie, on vocals.
Black Eyed Peas?
I'm going to go to Sandeep, who buzzed in.
Black Eyed Peas.
Correct. What 2011 Black Eyed Peas single, which shares its name with a Depeche Mode song, begins with the words, "Boy, I think about it every night and day."
Just Can't Get Enough?
Right. Just Can't Get Enough appeared on this most recent studio album by the Black Eyed Peas.
The End?
No, the beginning. In 1893, this Southern Hemisphere nation was the first to grant women the right to vote.
That would be New Zealand.
That's right. New Zealand's highest mountain and the strait separating the North and South Islands are both named after what 18th century British explorer?
Cook.
What indigenous East Polynesian people settled in New Zealand sometime before AD 1300? It took several wars for the British to conquer them.
The Maori.
The Maori. That's right, for 25 points. In Greek mythology, many figures take long journeys. Perhaps the longest journey was the 10 years it took this hero to return. Kevin?
Ulysses.
Yes. I'll accept that. This Olympian with winged sandals is the god of travelers, orators, thieves, and shepherds, and the great-grandfather of Odysseus.
Hermes.
That is right. This daughter of Inachus was chased from Greece to Egypt by a gadfly after being freed from her jailer, the 100-eyed giant Argus.
Make a guess. Leda.
Io. The inside of red blood cells consists primarily of which protein? Christopher?
Hemoglobin?
Yes. What term is given to the fluid left behind when all the cells are removed from blood?
Plasma?
And 1 milliliter of blood contains about 250,000 of which structures whose activation involves molecules such as factor VIII and fibrin? Platelets. One American pioneer is remembered for planting orchards across Ohio. Kyle.
Johnny Appleseed.
This was Johnny Appleseed's real name.
John Samuel.
John Chapman. The fifth and current republic of this country was established in
France.
Yes. This leader of the Free French during World War II was the
Charles
first
de Gaulle.
president of the, you know what, I'm sorry?
Charles de Gaulle.
Okay. I just can't hear you when I'm talking. I'm so sorry. A major issue during de Gaulle's presidency was the status of this French colony.
Algeria.
That's right, for 25 points. AMD and Intel manufacture what units known by a 3-letter acronym? Yes, Kevin.
Processors?
No. By a 3-letter acronym that carry out instructions in computer programs.
RAM?
No, CPU. A gas law put forward in 1811 asserts that equal volumes of different...
Le Chatelier?
Nope. Different gases at the same temperature contain the same number of molecules. What Italian scientist asserted this law, which is named for him? Good in salads, Avogadro. Franklin Roosevelt won 4, that's an Avogadro joke. It's the only Avogadro joke in the world. Franklin Roosevelt won 4 presidential elections, his first of which was against this incumbent president. Kevin?
Herbert Hoover.
Roosevelt's last electoral victory was against Thomas Dewey, the governor of this state that Roosevelt himself had once governed.
New York.
In 1940, Roosevelt defeated this Republican nominee who had formerly been a Democrat. Who was this dark horse contender from Indiana?
Langdon?
No, Wendell Willkie. In one film, mysterious white cubes are able to change shape and construct objects.
Super 8.
That's right, Kyle. Super 8 was co-produced by which director of Jaws and Schindler's List?
Steven Spielberg.
In Super 8, Joe Lamb and his friends worked on what fake short film which plays over the end credits for the movie?
The Trouble with Zombies?
The Case. We'll be right back after these messages.
Since 1952, San Mateo Credit Union has been proud to help San Mateo County members and their families achieve their financial dreams. Our deep commitment to the community we serve includes offering a wide variety of financial education programs, like financial literacy workshops for youth, adults, and seniors, seminars about raising money-smart kids, identity theft prevention, and many more. For more information about San Mateo Credit Union, visit us at www.smcu.org.
Hey, need some video work done? We can do that. We do all that video stuff. We can even put your video on that internet thingy. At Peninsula TV, we do full-blown in-studio production, talk shows, performances, speeches, anything. Remote multi-camera production, on location, at your event. And for the budget-minded, single camcorder production in high definition. We'll take your video project from first idea to finished product. For more info, contact Peninsula TV. And now it's time to meet the Quiz Kids. Once again, here's Brad.
Welcome back. The Carlmont Scots have 35 points. Let's say hi to Sanjay Srinivas. You're a senior and you're involved with kind of an interesting website.
Yeah, it's called Where We Watch. It's a website where people watch and discuss sports, and I write articles for the site.
So what's your favorite sport to write about?
I like to write about baseball.
Okay, cool, good. You got a little time to wait around, but here we go. Christopher May, a senior and a member of the robotics team. What's the robot this year?
So we have to play a game, or actually we have to play basketball, basically.
How you doing?
Pretty well. I mean, it's only the first week, so we still have a ways to go.
Gonna name it Slam Dunk or something?
No, I don't know.
We'll come up with something for you. Sandeep Srinivas, you're a sophomore and an avid violinist.
Yeah, I've been playing the violin for 7 years now.
At school and in a community orchestra?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your favorite piece to play?
Well, I guess in terms of violin concertos, I've never actually, maybe the Four Seasons.
And the time is up. But it's one of my favorite pieces too. We are gonna give you guys a chance to earn 100 points. The first category is violinists. The second one is concertos, I'm sorry. I have 3 categories. Each one has 7 10-point questions. The categories today are famous firsts, outlaws and lawmen, and words beginning with pan. Which category would you like today, gentlemen?
We'd like to start with the words beginning with pan.
Okay. The answers all begin with pan. In this first one, she made a mistake and opened her box.
Pandora.
The name for German tank divisions in World War II.
Panzer.
Combination of Laurasia and Gondwana land.
Pangea.
Yes. Black and white Chinese bears.
Panda.
Insulin secreting gland behind the stomach.
Pancreas.
The sidekick of Don Quixote.
Panjito.
No, it was Sancho Panza. And finally, the country formerly ruled by by Noriega.
Panama.
That's right, for 60 points. Congratulations. Let's turn to the Mountain View Spartans with 85 points. Kevin Stotts, you're a senior involved in mock trial, and your position this year?
My position in the mock trial team is as pretrial prosecutor,
Uh-huh.
and I'm defending the constitutionality of a California concealed carry statute.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. That's really cool. Kyle Bardman, you're a junior, and you are studying Faulkner right now, William Faulkner, the great confounding author, and you have to write about him. So what's the most interesting thing you've learned about William Faulkner so far?
Well, I think it's really interesting how he uses the stream of consciousness technique, because he was one of the first writers to really do that.
I think we should do the show in stream of consciousness instead of so logically, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, my next question will be in italics. Just a little Faulkner joke. Fortunately, my producer taught English. So anyway, Nikhil Nag, you're a senior. I'm saying this in italics, and you're part of the Leo Club at school. What do they do?
We're a community service club. We work with a local family shelter, and right now we're collecting a lot of books to send to Africa to make a library there.
Fantastic. Good luck to you with that. Gentlemen, I'm going to give you also a chance to earn up to 100 points. Would you like famous firsts or outlaws and lawmen?
Famous first?
Famous firsts. These are all something that happened first.
All right.
And it became famous as a result. It was the first man-made satellite in space.
Sputnik?
Preached by Urban II in 1095, its mission was to free the Holy Land from the Saracens.
First Crusade?
Correct. This was the first state to ratify the Constitution.
Delaware?
This is the first book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
The Fellowship of the Rings?
Correct. He is credited with leading the first voyage to circumnavigate the world.
Magellan?
It states in a closed system, energy appears to be conserved in all but nuclear reactions and other extreme conditions.
First law of conservation of matter, or thermodynamics?
Yes. It was fought from 264 to 241 BC, and the Romans won, of course.
First Carthaginian War?
Prompt for more information.
Can I get more than that?
First Punic War?
You got 7. 100 points to Mountain View. Congratulations. We'll be right back with more Quiz Kids.
And now we're back with the second half of Quiz Kids. Take it away, Brad.
Welcome back. Let's take a moment to thank the coaches for both teams. First from Carlmont, Ms. Patricia Bronstein. And from Mountain View, Mr. George St. Clair. Gentlemen, it's time for the second three-for-all. The point values will be doubled here. So one correct answer will earn you 10 points, 2 will earn you 25, and all 3 correct answers will earn you 50 points. 95 to 185. Good luck to both teams. Here's the first toss-up. He was originally expected to replace Sandra Day O'Connor. Kyle.
Bork?
No. But when Chief Justice William Rehnquist died, whom did George W. Bush tap to become the new Chief Justice of the Supreme Court?
John Roberts.
Right. In a sense, George Bush may have snubbed what very conservative and senior justice on the court, who made it clear he would like to be Chief Justice when he is not out hunting with Dick Cheney.
Scalia.
Scalia is right. When the court became more conservative, what Reagan appointee and second most senior associate became a crucial swing vote, the only justice from California on the Supreme Court? Justice Kennedy. What two-word name is given to the 2 numbers at the start of a piece of music that indicate Sandeep?
Time signature.
Correct. What term is given to the first accented beat in a pattern because of how it is typically illustrated by conductors?
Downbeat.
And what term refers to the process, common in jazz music, of accenting a note outside of the normal beat pattern?
Syncopation.
You earned 50 points. He kills his wife, Desdemona, after being fooled. Sandeep.
Othello.
The freshman knew this. You guys should be ashamed of the sophomore, okay? This villain tricks Othello into believing Desdemona is unfaithful and kills his henchman Rodrigo to keep him silent.
Iago.
And finally, Othello is convinced of Desdemona's adultery when he discovers one of these objects belonging to her in Caccio's home.
Handkerchief.
You got 50 points again, and you took the lead. This old master is considered the founder of Taoism. Who was this? Yes, Kyle?
Lao Tzu?
Yes, this fundamental text of Taoism is attributed to Lao Tzu and was supposedly commissioned by an officer at the Jade Gate.
The Tao. Oh, the Tao.
Can I accept that? No, it's the Tao Jing. This ancient China. Oh, I'm sorry, we're done. It opened in 1936, about 2 years ahead of schedule. Name this concrete. Yes, Kyle.
Hoover Dam.
Hoover Dam forms this artificial lake from the waters of the Colorado.
Lake Mead.
Finally, built along with Hoover Dam, this canal that carries water from the Colorado to the Imperial Valley agricultural region got its name because, unlike its predecessors, it never crosses into Mexico.
The Imperial Canal.
The All-American Canal. This is the only major city in Texas in the Mountain Time Zone. Name this.
El Paso.
After Texas gave up its claim to Arizona, what city replaced Austin to become the capital of the state capital of Arizona?
Replaced Austin. Phoenix.
Right. What river separates El Paso from Ciudad Juarez and forms the U.S.-Mexico border?
Rio Grande.
Correct, for 50 points. You got the lead again. This philosophy's adherents, such as Zeno of Citium and Marcus Aurelius, emphasize living in harmony with the natural order of the universe. What Greco-Roman philosophy met adversity head-on with a stiff upper lip? Christopher.
Stoicism.
Members of this school of thought, such as Diogenes, rejected social conventions and unnecessary luxuries. What is that called? Cynicism. The L-Cross probe was sent to it in 2009 to take pictures of its south pole. Yes, Kevin?
Mars.
No. During the 1960s, the USSR and the USA both sent numerous probes to this body with the intent of eventually sending manned missions there. Finally, in 1969, Apollo 11 landed on what object?
The moon.
Which is the largest moon in our solar system?
Titan.
No, Ganymede. Varanasi lies on the shore of this most sacred river in Hinduism.
The Ganges.
Yes, Sanjay.
Ganges.
The name of this river that begins as the Yarlung Sangpo in Tibet is Sanskrit for son of Brahma. The Brahmaputra River. This author of the novel Salambo, about ancient Carthage, is better known for a novel about the adulterous affair of its female protagonist who eventually kills herself. Who is this leading 19th century French author? Kyle.
Is it Hugo?
No. Can you steal?
Dumas.
You're not, say again?
Dumas.
No, it's Flaubert. It's Madame Bovary, and you shouldn't read it until you're an adult. Gosh. Physicists often need to count the number of times an event occurs in 1 unit of time. Such a measurement is what kind of quantity? The reciprocal of the period. Sanjay.
Frequency.
Yes. What SI unit named for a German scientist measures the number of occurrences or cycles per second?
Hertz.
Correct. And which physical quantity results from multiplying a wave's frequency by its wavelength?
Energy.
No, it's speed or velocity. He was the first U.S. president whose veto was overridden by Congress. Yes, Kyle?
Johnson.
No. Name this man, the first vice president to reach the presidency due to the death of his predecessor, William Henry Harrison.
John Tyler.
Right. Tyler was interested in a second term, but in 1844, what party rejected him in favor of Henry Clay as its presidential candidate?
Whig.
Yes. Tyler's entire cabinet resigned en masse in September 1841, all except for whom? The Secretary of State, who was negotiating a treaty over the U.S.-Canada border.
Polk.
No, it was Daniel Webster. A less popular scale for it is the Rankine scale, which is easily converted to a much more, yes, Nikhil?
More?
No, a much more familiar scale by subtracting 459.67 units. The more common SI unit for it is the Kelvin. What is this quantity most commonly measured with the Celsius and Fahrenheit scales?
Temperature.
What law of thermodynamics states that entropy is always increasing?
The second.
And what thought experiment famously involves a namesake creature that violates the second law of thermodynamics?
The dragon.
Maxwell's demon. And that is the end of the round, 325 to 270. Carlmont has the lead. We'll be right back after these messages.
Tournament champions will win an all-expenses-paid trip to Europe, courtesy of ACIS.
We're back for our final round. We'll put 3 minutes on the clock. The question's worth 30 points, and the clock will start when I start reading the first question. Good luck to both teams. This writer created characters such as Clifford, who spends 30 years in prison for killing his uncle, the spinster Hepzibah Pynchon, and Pearl's adulterous mother, Hester. Yes, Kyle.
Hawthorne.
One of his campaign slogans, "Putting People First," titles a book he co-wrote. His presidency saw the Battle of Mogadishu, the Passage of Wealth. Sanjay.
Clinton.
This creator of Monument to Balzac depicted Ugolino and his children.
Rodin.
Sorry, Kyle?
Rodin.
Yes, Rodin, yes. This group covered Queen's song Under Pressure with The Used and Dylan's Desolation Row for the Watchmen film. One song by this band says to do the title action for the deaf, for the blind, and from the heart.
My Chemical Romance.
This hockey team hosted the 2011 Winter Classic just months after moving into the Console Center. They won back-to-back Stanley Cups in... Yes, Kyle.
The Bruins.
Say again?
The Bruins.
No. They won back-to-back Stanley Cups in 1991 and 1992 behind Jaromir Jagr and Mario Lemieux. It's
Penguins.
That's right. This lake had fish species of genus Haplochromis and went extinct with the introduction of the Nile perch. Cities on its shores include Entebbe and Kampala. Tanzania, yes, Kyle.
Lake Tanganyika.
No.
Lake Victoria.
Tanzania and Kenya also border what African lake named for a 19th century British monarch?
Lake Victoria.
Correct. This character's 5 dreams are interpreted by his mother Ninsun. He obtains Utnapishtim's life-giving plant, defeats the monster Humbaba, and kills the bull of heaven after rejecting Ishtar's advances. Who was this king of Uruk and title character of a Mesopotamian epic?
Gilgamesh.
Right. This organelle receives proteins tagged with mannose-6-phosphate. Tay-Sachs disease is caused by a malfunction of this organelle.
Endoplasmic reticulum.
No. Whose pH is kept near 5 by its proton pump. What organelle contains proteases and other enzymes that digest cellular debris?
Lysosome.
Yes. One man with this first name wrote Darwin's Dangerous Idea, and another made a border treaty with Baron Ashburton. In addition to Mr. Dennett, the author of Moll Flanders and Robinson Crusoe has this first name.
Daniel.
I'm sorry. What common name was shared by Mrs. Webster and Defoe?
Daniel.
Correct. If set A has 12 elements, set B has 7 elements, yes, Nikhil.
Periodic table?
No. And the intersection of A and B totals 4 elements. How many elements are in the union of A and B? 15 elements. In 1885, the land of this modern nation became the private property of Leopold II.
Congo. DR Congo.
Yes. This family's servants include a nurse named Angelica, and its unmarried girls include the fair Rosaline. Count Paris hopes to marry into this family that also includes, yes, Sandeep.
The Capulets.
Right. This ion is stored in a namesake organelle that uses beta oxidation to break down long-chain fatty acids. Yes, Nikhil.
The Golgi apparatus?
No. Both of its atoms have an oxidation state of -1, and like that element, that's the end of the game. 5:35, Carlmont wins and moves on. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us, and thank you. We'll see you next week on Quiz Kids. Bye-bye.
Promotional consideration furnished by the Burlingame Scottish Rite, the Knights Templar, Model Compilers, the Bay Area Academic League. Some questions of Quiz Kids are provided by National Academic Quiz Tournaments.